Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So it has been about 2 months since I last spoke to you guys and filmed my 20th pregnancy update. Obviously things weren't looking great at that time. If you watch my videos you'll know that my outlook on things wasn't very good. And at 22 weeks I gave birth to my son Finn, and he was born sleeping, so he was a stillbirth. And it's taken me a long time to actually make this video, but I feel like if I don't make it, I'm never going to make it, and I don't want to forget anything. I've had a lot of people, you guys, DMing me on Instagram and asking me like how I went or like how everything's going, and it's really hard to answer that on a message and say, oh, my baby actually died. So here's the video. I was going to make it a long time ago, but yeah, it's just taken me a long time. So I'll try to remember everything that happened. It is a bit of a blur, but yeah, so at 21 weeks I basically had a lot of bleeding. Shit, it feels like so long ago now. I think it's just like so much has happened since then. Also, I'm filming on my vlogging camera, guys, so the background looks shitty and everything. My tripod broke. I went on holiday last week and my tripod broke, so I'm using my little gorilla pod. Anyway, oh man. So I had a lot of bleeding at 21 weeks. One night, basically, yeah, that's right, because you know that I had tests done before and they said that my waters had not broken. I had really low fluid and I had bleeding this night, and I said to Reese, oh, we won't go in just yet because we were meant to go to Noosa, which is a holiday location on the Sunshine Coast in Australia. We were meant to go there for a week, for like a romantic Valentine's kind of holiday, which we had planned like 2 months before. And anyway, I was like, I really don't want to go to the hospital because the next day we were meant to go to Noosa. That's right, okay, it's coming back to me. And anyway, I went to the toilet a few more times that night. It was about 12 o'clock and yeah, I kept bleeding and it was pretty bad. And I was like, okay, I should probably go to the hospital. I said to Reese, I don't want to get kept in because I really want to go to Noosa. Like I really want to go to Noosa. And I had just cleaned the house this day. Like I was, you know, frantically cleaning the house, packing, everything was packed. And yeah, so about midnight we went on down to the hospital and I bled a little bit more, I think. Anyway, this lovely male doctor came in and checked me out and everything and said, okay, so this isn't going to be the easiest thing to hear. And I was thinking, what, they're going to keep me in overnight? It's another bloody placental bleed and like, or something, or I didn't even know what to think. And he said, so it turns out your waters have broken. And I was like, oh, no shit. And in my brain I know what that means. Like when your waters break, it is bad. It is bad, Dory. Especially at 22 weeks, you don't want that happening. I was 5 days off. At this point I was, yeah, like a week, I can't even remember, but I was very close to being viable. And he basically told me that my baby had like a 0 chance of survival, and it was probably going to happen in the next couple of days, that he would have died inside me, and I can either wait for him to die inside me or I could take a tablet and bring it on and do it in the hospital. And you know, and so, you know, the conversation was a bit more lengthy than that and a bit more serious than that. And before he really even said all that, they kept me in overnight and they kind of told me the next day about just how serious it was. And so I could have had low fluid because my waters broke weeks ago and they had a false negative test. It could have been, yeah, it was, I was really upset. Oh, here we go. No, I'm good. So it took me a while to decide it was either he was going to die 100%, okay, so he was going to die inside me in the next few days, and I thought, if we're going to Noosa, I don't want to be at Noosa and that happened, and I don't want to be away from a hospital. And you know, I thought it would happen quite quickly, the process. This also meant that I had to give birth. I also had to be in birth suite around all these other newborn babies. I had a special room that had like a butterfly on the door, and poems about stillbirth. Basically, it was very not very nice. So man, I'm getting so confused in my words because I get so caught up in thinking about it. But basically I had to take a tablet, and that was my decision. Mine and Reese's decision was to take a tablet and just, you know, sort of bring it on. And I suppose a lot of people wouldn't choose that, but the way I thought was that we'd been through so much in the last few weeks, and I just wanted it over with at this point. I didn't want to go through the pain any longer. If he was going to die 100% anyway, I just thought, you know, I can't deal with that. And they even said if there was any chance of him surviving, the chances of him coming out without a disability were just extremely low. Like, he would have had probably extreme cerebral palsy, blindness, all that kind of stuff. And the morning of Valentine's Day, I took a tablet, and I thought, shit, I really hope this doesn't happen on Valentine's Day. It had been a couple of days I'd been in hospital now, I believe, because we were meant to leave to go to Noosa on the 13th. Yes, right. So I had my own room, a private room in the maternity ward, and yeah, so I took a tablet, and I tell you, it was the most surreal, unnatural thing that anyone could ever do, is doing something on purpose to end your child's life that you want, that you love, and you don't want it to end, but yet, oh gosh. Yeah, it was hard. Anyway, so it was meant to bring on contractions and that kind of thing, and they said it could take a few hours or it could take a couple of days. And I just thought, oh my god, I'm going to be in here knowing that my baby's going to die for a couple of days. And I could feel him kicking, I could feel him still moving around, and I thought, oh my god, I'm like the worst person ever. I'll just skip forward a little bit. It was around probably, you know, mid-afternoon when I was having pretty hectic contractions. I had endone, I had morphine around, like, you know, 4 o'clock or something. I can't really remember the times, but they thought, and these contractions were super painful. They were only a couple of minutes apart, everyone, and I couldn't, like, I just wanted to die. And that wasn't even the worst part. They ended up not being able to see my cervix because of my weird bloody uterus. I blame that anyway. I don't know if that's why, but they couldn't see if I was dilated, so they just whacked another tablet on up there to speed things along. And after that, it happened very quickly. Within probably 10 minutes, I was in excruciating pain. It felt like there was a demon inside me trying to get out. It was the worst kind of pain. It was too late then for gas. It was too late then for any kind of pain relief because it was all happening super fast. So obviously I was already dilated, but this tablet just made the contractions so much worse. And yeah, it was awful. It was very traumatic, the most traumatic thing I've ever been through in my entire life. I had my mum and Reese in the room with me. My midwife was beautiful, she was lovely. But it's a very bittersweet thing to be in birth knowing that you're not going to get anything at the end of it. I mean, like, yes, I had my son, but he was not alive. And that is not what I wanted, and that is not what anybody wants, and I would not wish that upon anybody. I did not think I was going to be able to do it. I did not think I was going to be able to do it. I would have a cesarean again in 2 seconds over that process. That was the worst thing. I was like, I remember begging Maurice and my mum to like cut my legs off because it was that painful. Like I was just, anyway, I gave birth to Finn at 6:45. He weighed only 250 grams, around that, and he was tiny and red and perfect. Just a tiny baby, but he was perfect. He had all his fingers, all his toes, his little eyes, his nose. He had a little line of hair that was growing out that was going to be ginger, so he would have been ginger like Reese, which is interesting. And I was terrified to see a dead baby. Even though it was mine, I was terrified. I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. So when I first gave birth, I was scared to look at him for a while, for like a few seconds. It wasn't a long time, but I didn't know what I was going to see. I'd read horror stories about this kind of thing, but when I saw him and I looked at him, it was like calm. It was like relief, but just pain, emotional pain. Like, oh, I'm so glad I'm making this video so I never have to make it again, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, we got that night with Finn. We wrapped him up in a blanket, we got to have cuddles with him and everything, and then, you know, the next day we left, and we left Finn there. And it was another super unnatural thing to do, even though he was dead. Anyway, that's why I haven't posted in a while. And I'm sorry if this is a bit brutal or hard to listen to, but I've never had to talk about it. Like, I've never had to explain this kind of thing. I've never even been around death, really. I'm sorry if I use terminology that is too harsh or too graphic. But I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you guys the most G-rated version of this that I could possibly tell you. It was a torturous week. Torture. I couldn't think of anything worse happening to anybody ever. So yeah, I'm just still trying to adjust to life without being pregnant. The next week we went to Noosa and had a beautiful week, and I was feeling okay as you can, but it was strange to not feel pregnant and like put my hand on my stomach all the time and expect his kicks, and they're not there, and I'd get emotional. Like, look, it was nice to have a drink, but it doesn't matter. Like, you just don't care. And the worst part of it is it's because of my uterus. My uterus, it wasn't because there was anything wrong with Finn. I feel like, you know, I did it because it was my body, and I thought, how could Oliver come out so perfect? That's my first child. How could Oliver have no problems? And Finn, I had all these issues, like, and now I'm just like, I don't even know if I want another baby. Like, not for a long time. 5-10 years. I want to be married, I want to have a house. I don't want to be pregnant. But I also really want to be pregnant, because this isn't meant to be what I'm meant to be talking about this week. And I've got so many friends, like at least 5 friends due in June. And they're all, you know, as far along as I should be. And I'm just not there. And it's like, everyone just moves on, and that's fine, but I still deal with it every day, you know. I don't miss talking to you guys, but it's so hard to talk about because I have this feeling of shame, and I have this feeling of hating myself and low self-esteem, and I just was so excited to have 2 boys. Okay, sorry, that was a bit hectic. Anyway, I've been filming a little bit, so yeah, I needed to make this video, and I'm sorry that this wasn't easy to watch. My heart goes out to anyone that's struggling with this right now, and just know you're not alone. You can always message me on Instagram or comment if you just want to talk about it. I would love to hear it, because it is horrible, and we need to talk about it. As much as I say, like, oh, don't be ashamed, like, it's not your fault. I know how it feels. I don't know how much it feels like it is. I hope none of you ever have to experience this, but for those that have or know someone, I'm so sorry. Because yeah, I never knew pain until this happened to me. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video, and I'm probably gonna start posting vlogs again, because at the moment I don't know what to post. That's my phone. I've got vlogs from Australia Day, Noosa, I went to Stradbroke last week. I've got a few things that I want to post, but yeah, I had to post this first, right? So thank you guys for sticking with me. Thank you guys for everything, all your support and everything. I appreciate it so much, and I wish I had better news for everybody. I really do, and I'm sad to have to tell you guys this, but that's life, I suppose. And now I have a little angel baby. Doesn't mean he didn't exist, doesn't mean he didn't happen, but anyway, my camera battery's flashing, so I'll catch you guys whenever I get around to editing those vlogs, and thanks for sticking with me. I love you guys.